It'd be great for each of you to go through it, the name, and then your pitch, and then we'll go through this. So everyone, we'll start from whoever has the mic, or pass it around. Just go ahead and start and then pass it around, all right?
So, hey guys. My name is Gil. I think I just introduced myself yesterday, but we are building Chaching. Chaching is, we track, incentivize, and archive governance participation transparently and permanently in Filecoin. And yeah, we have some experience to share here about technical things that maybe you can enhance it. Yeah, that's it.
Hello everyone, I'm Shubham and I'm building Groundline, which is a graph database / knowledge aggregation layer on top of Filecoin Onchain Cloud. And yeah, for the past 4 months, I've been adding more features to it. And I'm like a solo founder, and I've been working on top of that from my past hackathon in PL Genesis.
Hello everyone, I am Paul from Kive. We have been building for 4 years now on other ecosystem. We are one of the biggest uploader on Arweave currently, but looking for other solution to store massive amount of data, and we are doing data validation in a decentralized manner to store historical data of blockchain and make it a public good for builders and node runners and all people needing data basically.
Hi guys, we are building Filecoin. Filecoin is an on-chain alternative to platforms, traditional e-signature platforms like DocuSign or JotForm. We basically want to preserve remove the trust from e-signatures, and we are doing everything on-chain. We are doing it using Filecoin Onchain Cloud. Your documents are stored there, and we are using post-quantum encryption and post-quantum secure signatures, and all of that we are also storing on Filecoin. So, unlocking new use cases for Filecoin, because you can't store these heavy proofs on-chain. So we use Filecoin for that. That's it.
So hi everyone, I'm Shashank, and I have been building eStore, but I have been building eStore for 2 years, but now I'm building it on Filecoin Onchain Cloud. So it is an application where anyone can, how do you use Filecoin Onchain Cloud? You can go to eStore and store your daily files there, just like Google Drive. You can see previews, you can share links. We also have an encryption where you can store files encrypted so that no one except you can see the file. So yeah, that is what I'm building, and with Pushpen, so he's also helping me with the development.
Hi guys, I'm Harsh and I'm building FilBridge. So FilBridge is a cross-chain synapse layer which helps bridge the gap between other chains and storing on Filecoin. So I've recently built the MVP of it at Loops Hacker House, which iterations are organized. And yeah, I'm continuing on working on it to bridge that gap. Currently, I am a middle layer between the end user and Synapse. And yeah, I'm also figuring out some stuff and how it can be improved and what can be used for it currently. So yeah, Exceler is one thing which I'm thinking of using in between. And yeah, I'm open to exploring and ideas about it. So yeah, thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Rohit, and currently I am building Tango.fun, which is your on-chain talent show where AI judges will judge you on the basis of your performance. So for that I am using Snaps TK and also using FOC. So I also was part of Loops Hacker House, which was organized by Rish and Sarah, and also Nick supported me in the development as well to implement the Snaps SDK. So I'm quite impressed with the capabilities of the Snaps SDK. We can finally streams video on chain quite effortlessly. So yeah, that's my idea. Thanks.
Yeah, so now that everyone kind of has some context to what you all have been building, maybe, and I know you guys have kind of prepped some answers, some of them prepped slides actually, but we didn't have time to put all the slides up there. Maybe you can share your experience with Synapse SDK and FOC and any key things, key highlights that stand out to you or things that you really want to see added to Synapse. Yeah, we can go around.
One suggestion which I really want to give, some of the docs were really spread for whole of FOCs. Like in some of the demos, the version is different, or in some of the docs, there are some different versions. And also, like, there isn't any clarity regarding the like US FDC address or something for that RESTnet. So I think docs can be better as for the whole like FOC. I know that the initial FOC is in initial phase, so these kind of things happen. But yeah, we, like, you guys can work like on improving the documentation.
Was there anything good about it?
I just mentioned all my good things about all the like FOC's product in my pitch as well. So I really like the idea of Snaps SDK. Like if you see in the whole Web3, there isn't any protocol which offers you like video streaming with the help of CDN and all the things. So I really like the Snaps SDK, like the whole concept behind it and the implementation as well. So just little feedback about the docs. So that's right.
Could I ask a follow-up question? When you go to the docs, what's the most important section for you? Where do you like really want to go? And what are the properties that you really want that say, this is a really great doc?
So basically, it's all about, like, there is an allowance feature in the like Snaps SDK where you have to pay a certain amount. Then after that, you get some amount of storage on chain. So the calculation and all the allowance thing was, I think, pretty much explained in the new version of doc which Nick sent me. But earlier, I was very struggling with all the features and all the details. Like in one demo, there was a version 0.29 was using. So I wasted my 2 whole days like for implementing that. But later I know that that version is not correct. So after that, I found good docs links and finally implemented that in my project.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah, so that's when I want to share this.
Yeah,
like in the beginning, I found something, the README, like of the repo, the README, like, and it was outdated. And like this created like some conflict and like in the team, and I say, no, guys, let's find some other examples. So we found out some other examples there. I don't remember, but it was really in the beginning of this whole, the cohort. So I think now it got a bit better, but in my opinion, less documentation, but always up to date is better than a lot of documentation than not getting things up to date. That's my opinion.
Yeah, but at the same time, it was like we were in the Slack, right? So the entire time, the entire team was always like mentioning us and pinging us and like updating us on the changes. And if you're like up to date with them, I don't think we had much problems, because if they had a major update, a breaking change, we were just like always up to date with that, because we would be like, okay, we have to change it. It's a little effort, but then we know about it. So yeah, if you're just looking at the website, maybe then problematic. But then if you're connected with the team was always like very upfront. Hi.
You haven't met me before. Question, so where do you guys live these days? Like, is it Slack, is it Telegram, is it GitHub release node? Like, what's the best way to make sure that we gave you the latest like information? Because always it's gonna be the release node for the breaking changes and all that, and releases for sure. But some people, I learned, developers just don't read. Some developers don't read. They just like watch like chat messages. So what's the platform that's the best place for us to give you folks updates?
Yeah. So I'll just share my opinion. I would say, like, for me, Slack was very like the best one for me. I was in the like all of us actually are in the Slack. We had like DMs, and the groups were always updated with all the latest information by the team, by the builders and like the developers. And apart from that, I would say, like, even if like it was a little bit late to update the docs, we always got the information. If we just pinged the team, they were like always responsive. So. Yeah.
But some are not getting the information. So maybe let's just do a quick vote. It's like, if you think GitHub release node, yes, all you need, please raise your hand. Oh, one. Oh.
GitHub release notes. In my opinion, sorry about this, guys, but the release notes of the Snaps SDK, it seems very robotic, like very AI generated, and If there's breaking changes, I would expect to have in the release notes there, at least some links to where to look for things. I'm not asking much, it's just.
I will make sure I will make sure my cats will write the next release notes, so it's not less AI. But no, get that more information. Cool.
So sometimes what is happening is I wanted a feature which was being discussed on Slack, and they didn't release a release note. So what I would do is I would go in the code, find out what has changed, and I manually copied it so that I'll get that feature earlier before the release happens on NPM or something. So if you want to figure out, you can figure out when you need it actually. So Slack works for most of the people, but yeah. Yeah. I personally live on Discord, so just for this project, I have to come back to Slack and go front and back.
Normally, we would just go to the website and read the docs, but then this time it was a very different experience because we are directly connected to the team. And usually, it's if we're using any product, any libraries or anything, we're just opening the docs on the website, and they're supposed to be updated, right? So I think there should be a universal channel where it should be available for the public in the most updated manner, right? There should be that. That's what I suggest. I saw, but apart from that, the team's response was always.
But I do agree, Slack is very alien to most people in Web3. I would agree with that. Yeah, we could consider other avenues, Telegram, Discord, maybe.
Yeah, a little bit more Web3. Fine. Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Slack has been the fastest.
I think the communication side is definitely important, and that's good. I know quite a few of you also have some experiences with the technical design of Synapse or how it's being used today. So maybe you can share some insights there too. Yeah, I know Shubham is ready to go.
I like the technical aspect because when I started Groundline, it was a graph database. Two main properties I wanted was I need to be able to set a custom retention policy for data, which is not present before because it used to be 30 days or 1 year because storage providers decide that. But here, these storage deals can be programmable and I had access to the primitives through Synapse SDK. Second one was fast access because I wanted to use my GraphDB to build knowledge graphs for AI agents. So they need to ping my database at a faster rate. So FileBeam, currently it was FileCDN before. So they gave very fast access to that. And so monetization, billing, also everything was bought together in a single SDK. I really like that. Normally what you have to do is you have to figure out payments separately, storage deals separately, and then bring everything together. Or just sponsor it for users on your own. So that's what every time happens, but the SDK consolidated everything together. So I really like that part.
And also another thing that was really appreciable was how simple it was. And by simple, I mean, I don't know if you've heard this term called leaky APIs. So people build a lot of leaky APIs or leaky SDKs. That is, you leak the implementation details that live underneath what I should be concerned with. So, the thing with Synapse is it just gives me what I should be concerned with. Do you want to use CDN? Okay, if I do, I use that option. If I don't, I don't care. It has a default value. Most things have a default value, and it's super easy to implement. You just go to the Get Started section, and it's pretty straightforward. So it's super easy to use. Another thing was if I need to deal with data sets, because what we are doing is creating a data set per user. So if we want to delete everything for a particular user, we just stop paying for that data set. We back off from that deal. And again, all of that was super simple to implement, yes.
Could I follow up with your question? And anybody can answer too. So regarding the SDK, I had a long discussion with one of the developers. There was the Synapse SDK, there's Core, and then there's the React one. Did you interact or pick amongst those and had a preference in terms of the form factors? Or I'd like to kind of like drill down a little bit because we had a lot of discussion about that. And you had started off by talking about the primitives, and that was what he was advocating for, was that the primitive levels would be more interesting, but I wasn't sure whether you just took it apart from the SDK or you used Synapse Core. So
We personally used the Synapse SDK. I was aware of the existence of Synapse Core, but honestly, the raw ethos version, yes. Yeah, I did not even know up till like a week ago that there was a Synapse React thing. I only knew about the core and the SDK.
Basically, like, for Filecoin, we just like, we're like, okay, we created our own SDK wrapper for like on the web, and then we just use that and expose that as script like UDIS. Yeah, like Spandan here is like an infra guy. He loves building SDKs and everything, so that's why he was like, the SDK was very well built, and I loved creating over it. So.
Yeah, another thing I would like to mention was that the best thing is you can use it on the browser, on the server. If you want to sponsor, it's super easy to do. If we want the users to pay, it's super easy to do. And you can have it in a modular way. Like if you want to give the user the option, would you like to pay? Yeah, it's super easy to do. And if you want to sponsor, that you can have as a default. So yeah, I really like that as well.
Good.
Again, we had the default to be sponsored. So because of this, right, it would be difficult for the user. So if the user wants to, we give them the option because of course there's friction there. So we wouldn't really want to concern ourselves with, hey, how do you get USDFC? If the user has it, go ahead.
Just going to this line of like question, one of the things for us is important is like to estimate the uploads. And I already like mentioned this to Tim and to the team. I created like an issue in the Synapse SDK, issue 221. Rod answered with a big like comment already. I think the guys are gonna roll out a better way of estimate costs for upload. In our particular example, we wanted to estimate things without ever touching the on-chain. Because like you have like to have like a deposit made or like to set up like the allowance. We don't want any of that to estimate something. So this goes in line to, if I have a better way of estimating the cost, then I can expose with confidence to the user like that they do it. To display things, you know, display the cost transparently for the user and this kind of thing. Exactly, yeah. Yeah, I'm not asking much, right? So it's, yeah, it's just, yeah.
So one more thing which users might have issue with would be two currencies, so USDFC and Phil, right? So right now we are doing it on our own, like as developers, I think so that's what everyone's doing. But ideally users should not go to faucet, get the USDFC and come back. If possible, maybe directly using Phil should be possible on the chain for giving allowance.
Paying Phil? Gotcha, cool.
I mean, I am okay with both, but
are your users okay with that?
Probably not, because it's a new stable coin, right? So it will be hard for them to get access to that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
From the Kive perspective, like actually in Arweave, it was very challenging trying to estimate the cost of storing large-scale chain data in a fluctuating currency was like a friction point, and you guys wanted to not be exposed to a fluctuating currency and be able to pay just in stable coins, yeah?
Yeah, because it's impossible just basically to sell storage to like companies or whoever, like if the price fluctuate that much, like for example with Arweave you can pay like for 1 gigabyte $7 one day and the next day 14, and like it's just impossible to, like if you have only 1 gigabyte it's okay. If you have like petabytes of data to store, or like terabytes even, it's like just impossible. No one would be willing to take that risk. And it's like no one also like to sign big companies to like, if you tell them it's a token that have not a stable value, you are telling them that they are kind of doing an investment, not buying a product, which is more complicated to sell. It's like you would sell a share and tell them, oh, today it's going to be that price and tomorrow this other price. So it's like not, in my opinion, I'm working with like a lot of chains and a lot of like foundation and stuff like that. It's not a good idea in some way to like charge your customers with a fluctuating token, because you're going to have a hard time just to manage to just sell your product, because it's going to be a huge blocker for you.
I have a question for Paul, and sorry, I didn't catch your name. Arsh, cool. Both of you are building for more like cross-chain builders, right? Like Archive, I believe the Chain Archive. I finally got that a month ago. Very cool. But you just said you are building some like a cross-bridging things to make people, for example, base builders to use Filecoin Onchain Cloud like really easily. We were just having discussions of like what does those users need from Filecoin Onchain Cloud, right? Like, do they just like want to store the data? Do they just want a storage layer for their data? Or do they want to be able to get the CIDs that's stored and like validating the proof like from the smart contract? Or do they want to directly at their source chain use the CID stored on Filecoin to do more programmable whatever thing, compute or agent or whatever things they want to do? Like, what does those builder on the other chain want from Filecoin? Is it just store plus programmability?
I would say the more, the most, the better. Like of course, like more you have, better it is. But like people, like builders anywhere, like don't really, like, I'm sorry, I'm going to hurt some people, but don't really care about decentralization. They care about the price. Why? It's because when you join a company, when you are working for a foundation or like on the infra side of things for a company, what's matter is your result, and your +1 will ask you how much you spend for this service and how much it will cost you in a Web2 way. Like if it's going to cost you 10 times more to have a decentralized service other than using AWS, then your N+1 will say, just go for AWS, because decentralization, yes, have a cost, but it's have a limit also. Like not all companies can just pay millions of dollars to store. So like storage doesn't really matter in a way for companies. It's more like the access of the data. It's what we have figured out. Kive at the beginning was just like validating the data to ensure that there is no data corruption between data sources and storage solution, like decentralized one, but can be also centralized one. And we figured out that it wasn't enough, because like having like data store somewhere, it's awesome, but if you can't do anything with it, then just don't store it. Like don't have it, because it's not going to change anything for you anyway. So I think the programmability is really important, and it's where it's like leading to, and where you need to have also like good data retrieving tooling to be able to support builders, data scientists, Web2 companies. For example, we work a lot with GCP. You can find some of our data set on Google Web3 Marketplace, and like it was really important to have way of retrieving those data that are like compatible with how GCP work right now.
A lot of made a lot of sense to me, but like I just want to confirm one question that we all have when we say like data is make data like programmable, right? Are we talking about, I know this CID is here, like you as the network, you tell me this source has the data, I will be able to retrieve this and do more things on top of that? Is that what you call programmability? Or you are calling, no, not only I need to know where the data is, be able to get it out, I also need to do something on chain in the smart contract with that data on my chain.
I believe it's, for me, the second option, where you are able to do some stuff on chain with the data if you want to evolve like towards like a more brighter future with more like possibility of applications to build really cross-chain. Like cross-chain bridges is like just transferring data. In the end, it's just like transfer of data, and we need to be able to transfer more like historical data of other chains to another one to be able to do more like programmable stuff also for like agents and stuff like that.
Can you give me one use case? Just one is fine.
One use case with data or with?
Cross-chain data, like needs data to move like cross-chain.
Like for example, if I want to know like I want to do like a perps arbitrage on like Hyperliquid and on Aster with an agent that sits on chain on a smart contract. I need to be able to cross those data of like different like arbitrage of like funding opportunity and to be able to retrieve those in a verifiable way on chain for my agent to execute those transactions.
Yeah, I mostly agree with this point. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to sponsor the transaction like for my users when they were, approving the permit and allowance. But I was not able to do that because I guess it required users manual transaction signing. So I was not able to sponsor them. So I guess having that control over the like smart contract functions and all for the builder is really important. And yeah, apart from this, my experience was like with Synapse was really smooth, a lot better than what it was a month ago. So I guess, yeah, kudos to the team.
I just want to touch a point that Jenny was telling about use cases and things about programmability of data. So we, in our use case, we do archival of governance data. And we have like a module in our system where you have, we measure activity in GitHub, for example, and then we could issue points to engage participation and this kind of thing. And like, since we have the data coming from GitHub archived in Filecoin, we are thinking about getting this archive, basically JSON files, feed into a smart contract, and then like the smart contract will verify, oh, this GitHub user has this amount of tokens to receive, and they're gonna issue the tokens because it can verify, get the archive from Filecoin, and go through like the metadata and say, oh, this guy here has something to receive. So like this is like the level of programmability that we have and we do. So release of tokens based on some data, and like the smart contract, you're gonna go through it and analyze it. I don't know how expensive this will be. We have plans to do that, but yeah.
And then you have to like prove on chain somehow that like this wallet is connected to this GitHub ID somehow.
Yeah, exactly. That's another part of the problem, but this is something that we could, yeah, maybe.
Or like connect it to drips somehow.
Yeah, drips,
like,
or yeah, maybe get a Oracle. I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. But yep.
Okay, great. Last question. So we're just going to go rapid fire here because we're running out of time. We'll start with yours. You raised the question of like, hey, I might look at an AWS if it doesn't meet the price. So each one of you just tell me as succinctly as you can what your expectation of minimal durability in however you want to describe it, and like your expected price that you would pay for storage. Like where in your head that sits. I know the price one's always hard because everyone wants to get free, but you have a comparison set and you have a value perspective in your mind, but just go. So here's how I would describe the durability requirements I have, and this is what a good price for me is. And then just go.
That's a very tough question for blockchain historical data, because it's a philosophical aspect of, do you want to be always able to sync from Genesis and have always the first block, or do you rely on a snapshot that you store like after 25 years? So I would say like, in the very spirit of the decentralization aspect of blockchain, I would say we would need the data forever. Do we really need it in the practical way? I would say no. So around like, with government laws in place, I think it's 10 years in most countries to have like access to the, like for the tax reports and stuff like that. Some government go to 15, so I would say 20 to be secure. Like 20 years would be like a good time of storage for like some data, that the data I can prepay for 20 years. For the term of cost, it's also like really like storage costs have been declined for years since 2005. So like
give me a number. I just want to go through this. Just give me a number per terabyte. Just give me a number.
Per gigabyte, I can give you like, I don't know,
sure.
150, something like that.
Okay, great. And then just keep going. The thing that comes to your mind, and then an adjustment is, the question is durability, not duration. Whatever that means to you, however you describe it, technically, whatever, just what's the phrase? I want durability of X.
So considering my use cases, other than where I use Filecoin is, I put containers images on AWS, right, container registry. And it costs me a lot. Like randomly after 1 month, I get a bill of say $18 because I have put like 20 GBs there. So considering that, for cold storage, I would prefer prices around $3 to $5. And for warm storage with fast CDN access, it would be, if updates are possible at a rapid rate, $20 would be fine per GB.
And then the durability, how would you describe the potential to lose or retain your daily? Just however you would.
So if possible, I need not worry about if my data will be lost if I stop paying. I mean, if I pay even, say, a small amount, it should be clustered around multiple nodes so that it stays.
How many
alive.
nodes?
I think at least 3 would be better.
Great, thank you. Next, good, awesome.
So I expect that IXI to be slightly cheaper than Amazon.
Okay.
So Amazon,
Which tier?
Amazon.
Which tier? They have S3.
So
they
like
have archive,
in
they
the beginning, like, until 50, I think 50 giga, you can store per giga per month is 3 cents or something like
He's
this.
going to let you talk.
3 cents, if I'm not mistaken. So like I would expect to be in the case of like 2 cents per giga per month in the first tier of 50 giga.
Okay. Egress.
Yeah.
Same? You expect it to be the same price? Lower. How much
Lower.
How much lower? 50%, 20%?
Yeah, yeah, like I would say between 10 and 20%.
Of the cost or lower?
Yeah.
So it's 10% lower or 10% of the total egress cost?
Of the total.
10% of the total.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. And then your durability?
So
how would you describe it in a sentence?
In a sentence, yeah, for our use case, as 100% guaranteed that the data will be available as long as the customer pays and have allowance, to pay that.
Okay, thanks. Okay, next.
In terms of numbers, just off the top of my head, I think for AWS, we'd have to pay $20 for a storage in terms of terabyte, and for egress that would be per terabyte, and for $80 for egress. So if it's lower than that, I'm happy. Great. Honestly. And to define durability, my definition of durability is a bit weird, I would say, because most people don't consider this. But I would say if I am paying or a user is paying, regardless of what happens, right, as long as I have internet, because, I think the biggest attack vector you should consider is the government. Let's say you want to access something and the government does not want you to access it at that point of time, you should be able to. And is it like if I am paying and something exists and I have internet connection, unless the government has cut off my internet connection, am I able to access it? If I am, that to me is durable, regardless of the use case. It's either cha-ching, it's Filecoin, it's something else, I don't know. This should be the definition of durability, I think.
Okay, next. Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm building like eStore where you can store like Drive. I can give you the pricing that we have in India for Drive, which is like $2.5 to $3 per TB per month. And I can even, like I've tried, like I can even use URL with curl requests to get my photos, and I can see the previews. So probably all the features except privacy that we give in eStore, except that you can get that on that pricing, which is like lesser than what we have with CDN for Filecoin Onchain Cloud. As of durability, like in a sense, usually users just care like when I go to Drive, I should be able to see my photo if I have uploaded it there. That should be durability for us. Like the file should be retrievable when I want it.
Okay, great. Thank you.
On durability point, I totally agree with him. Like the uptime of the files is really important. In terms of cost, I think $5 per TB for cold storage is good enough. And I guess $20 for warm storage would be like nice to have.
Great.
So currently I'm paying around $10 per TV per month for iCloud. So everything around this will be perfect for me.
Okay.
Yeah, as long as I agree with the fellow developers, as long as it's available for me as streaming easily, so yeah, that's really fine.
Okay, great. Thank you, everyone. And also, right before they go, 4 of our teams here, I know Kai, you're a partner, but they have all been accepted into the quarterfinals for the Aleph Startup Competition. Yeah. So they will be pitching tomorrow outside at the main area there. We don't know the slots. I will find out tonight and post it in the group chat. So if you guys are around, please just head outside and just give them a little bit of support. And then we'll know if they get to semifinals by tomorrow night. So yeah. Cool, thank you.